I see it down below. Anabolic steroids and how they will not fix your problems. So we're going to jump right in here because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch. I have a call coming up at 2:30. But this is one of the most frequent questions that I get asked as a coach and a competitor myself. And here's the reality of the situation is it is not going to fix your problem. Now, for those who might be curious, yes, I am enhanced. I do use anabolic steroids. I have been for almost 2 years now, under the supervision of my coach. And this really leads us into this conversation today. There's a lot that goes into this, and I'm going to do my best to cover all the points here that I have in mind with you guys. But I do just kick this off and just make this very clear that if you've been in the gym for 3, 5 years, you're training hard, maybe you're doing some good things with food, and you're thinking about it, it is a loaded conversation because honestly, if you take nothing else from this chat here today, I think a lot of you guys will be disappointed with the results from using. That's because there's so many factors, right? Don't take it, Corey. Yes. But it's the quality of the compound, where you're getting it from. Genetically, everybody responds differently. It's, have you exhausted your actual genetic ceiling? Do you have a really good foundation in place? Because the truth is, you can take steroids, anabolics, and still look like ass. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Giving a little backstory, I've been training for over a decade before I started using the last couple of years. And I think that's really critical for all of us to understand today. If you don't have a good foundation, then taking uh, gear, supplements, PEDs, whatever you want to call it, is only going to highlight more of that. Now, for me, the reason why I decided to use myself is because I felt like, one, I exhausted my genetics. Two, this is my career. Three, I wanted to compete and see what I was capable of doing. Four, I just didn't really want to compete naturally, and I was willing to have a little bit of those risks to see um, what was possible for me. Now, I do want to be transparent that I've actually used very low amounts. My coach is somebody who has the approach of trying to get the most out of the least amount possible, right? We can cover that in a second, but it's pretty decent. Um, the fitness coach that I work with, shout out to Dylan, what's up, big dog? But his philosophy and approach is like, hey, let's take the least amount possible and try to get the most out of that. Because as you begin to use, right, you will start to need more and more over time, right? And this is I guess, the issue that a lot of us will face is that the more you start to take, more issues arise, the more susceptible you are to the risks that come with that. And that's really the problem. So the sooner that you start down the road, the more you're going to have to take to see similar progression. And that's why people run into issues. You got to think it's like a graph that continuously goes up, right? You can see some good results, pretty quickly on it, but then eventually, what's the word I'm looking for? The potency starts to dip a little bit. So then you have to increase it. It's just this constant trajectory of constantly pushing more, and that's why people run into issues. So if you're doing things like not tracking your resting heart rate, you're taking your blood sugar levels, constantly getting blood work, even knowing what to look for, your blood pressure, all the things that you read inside of a blood panel, the type of compounds, the dosaging, how you titrate those, the way that you do it. I mean, there's just so much, right? What type of medicine is in steroids? I don't think there's any type of medicine in steroids. Corey, for TikTok, for those who are just tuning in, I'm a bodybuilding contest prep coach, and we're talking about anabolic steroids here today, why you should not use them. And, because I get asked this so much. And it's a shame because there's a lot of young kids right now that think they need to hop on in order to really progress their physiques, but they don't know how to eat properly. They don't know how to track their macros. They don't know what a good training cycle looks like. They don't know how to push the failure. Their sleep's trash. They go out, they have alcohol, they have shitty foods, right? So they're living just a really poor lifestyle and then just having these ridiculously asinine cycles because there's no education, right? Like you don't get taught this stuff in school. So it's like, what compounds am I taking? Why am I taking them and what amounts? Does this make sense for me and my goals? Why am I opening myself up to all this risk? And that's why for me, yes, I do coach clients who use, but they have a solid foundation and I don't push drugs on anybody. And I do want to be very clear. I actually have a lot of conversations with clients and I tell them they should probably just stay natural. I always push somebody who is competing for the first time to do their first show naturally because I think it's important to see what you're capable of my first show, I did it naturally for that reason because you have to see genetically what you're capable of before you just resort to that. Because for some people, like I said, genetically we're all going to respond a little bit differently. You don't know how you're going to react to this. So it might be a decision that will alter your life forever because even taking testosterone can shut down your natural production for life. So you may be listening to this and you may be thinking about TRT getting on, but it's when you start to introduce your body and introducing hormones that your body's not making, it can shut down your natural production. And that's the issue is sometimes people will not be able to get it back. That's where it leads to issues like infertility, problems having kids. Now you may look at some people being bodybuilders like Sebum and Derek Lunsford, and you're like, dude, they're at the top of the top, and they're pumping out kids. Yes, but they're also genetic anomalies. So it's like you can't sit there. It's like comparing yourself to Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. You just can't do that. It doesn't make sense. The reason I ask is I wonder what's in steroids that's not good. So the thing is, it's about these certain compounds, where you're getting them from, because here's the truth, Corey. You don't know what's truly in them depending on where you get it from. So that's really the issue, right? So you may think it's testosterone, but they may be diluting it with other things to make a profit because at the end of the day, it's about what? Money, money. So it's not to say that, oh, if you take testosterone, right, you're going to have these issues. You just truthfully don't really know if it's completely testosterone or farm grade. Now, you may be able to get farm grade type supplements, but that requires a doctor prescription. So unless you are able to get approved by a clinic, then that will probably be a little bit challenging, right? So that's the thing is you truthfully don't really know what you're getting. This technically these are illegal substances. So while you can go to the store and buy them, you have to order them usually online through a black market, using Bitcoin or other things that are kind of sketchy because they don't want to have it tricks because there is a lot of risk with them. So I think just overall, it's about the risk reward. That's the main concept that I want to get you guys, well, I should say, help you guys to understand here today is what is the risk reward? Like, why are you even taking it in the first place? Like for me, that didn't make sense, right? I had been training for over a decade. I decided that this was going to be my full time career. That social media was a huge thing I had to be involved in. I was going to compete at a high level. Right? So like all these things start to stack in my favor of like, I'm not really seeing the progression I want. I want to see what I'm capable of. I do want to compete on stages. This is my career. Social media is a big part of what I do. So when you think about that, makes a lot of sense. If you're somebody who's just working on God, you're not on socials, this isn't your career, you're not competing, you're staying it. I don't really know if the risk reward is there, but at the end of the day, it's your life, it's your decisions. I'm just here to help educate you guys a little bit. That way you can make some more decisions. Now, to bring this back, a couple lessons for you guys here to take. If you're taking notes, you might want to write this down because it can be useful, especially if you've been interviewed for a good amount of time. Say this a couple times. Steroids will not magically, yes, I'll say again, will not magically transform your physique. You still need to master the fundamentals. Progressive overload, mind muscle connection, proper form, full range of motion. And that's why for my clients, you guys follow me on Instagram, you may see it on my story that I'm constantly critiquing my clients. My clients are very diligent with sending me their training videos because there's a lot of things that I could look for inside of that. I can see if their intensity is on point, their flow is on point, the execution, the tempo, the way that we're doing all those things. So it's really important. So if you do not have that in place, you can take a bunch of shit. So like I said, I don't want to name names, but I know people who use and don't practice things and don't really look anything crazy. And that's the truth is you will actually likely be pretty disappointed with the results or lack thereof from using if you don't have a solid foundation. So that's the thing. When you start to use, not only do you open yourself up to all this risk, but if you don't have this foundation, you're just wasting money and time and risk and side effects for what? There's a lot of side effects that come with it. For myself with using, I noticed that I got a lot of acne on my back. I'll be transparent with you guys. A little bit. Right? That's the truth. Also, with injections, you can get infections. And I've had a couple of nasty infections. You might be able to actually see it if you go to some of the posing videos on the side of my hips. A couple of injections. And these things are so excruciatingly painful. So, like that alone, right there. And also, you don't know internally the actual organ damage that this is causing long term. And like for me, I justify it because of the things that I shared. But the reality is everybody's different. We have different goals for our lives. So you have to just take this thing apart, ask yourself because it is important. So if you can't stick to a diet, Your nutrition is garbage. Steroids physique is built in the kitchen just as much as it is in the gym. You got to have your proper macros, protein, carbs, fats, quality sources. If you have a shitty training program, you're just going in the gym, kind of winging it, picking up weights. Yeah, you're probably still going to look the fucking same, even if you shoot up some testosterone. I think it's just is this making sense so far? Drop the yes in the comments. Or no matter what, I do everything natural. So at the end of the day, I don't think steroids are not good for you. You have to figure out what you need in order to get the results that you want. Yes, now I'm trashing it, but yes, they do work at the same time. And people respond differently to different things. Like I myself have been categorized as a hyper responder, somebody that responds pretty well to low amounts. Great sign long term as far as a enhanced bodybuilding career. But not everybody's like that. Not everybody's like that. So, like, to be clear, if you are thinking about competing, you can compete naturally. There is a lot of natural federations. So this is something you don't necessarily have to do. Even going back, I would even consider maybe doing a couple more natural shows before becoming enhanced. Because now I can't compete naturally. So it's like in order to continue to climb, I have to continue to increase my dosages. That's the kicker here. The more it's the issues is in the type of compounds where you're getting it from in the dosages, right? So the more you increase higher blood pressure, poor liver, kidney functions, it accelerates, right? More systemic fatigue and stress that's on your system. That's why sleep is a huge thing. So if you're not getting quality sleep, you're feeling caffeine, you're strong later in your phone, you're not getting sufficient 6 to 8 hours a night recovery, you dog shit, and just boom, here you go again. Take more shit, make a difference. You have to learn to stick to a true diet, prioritize your health, getting consistent blood work, looking at the right things to actually monitor that. For me, I track my blood sugar levels every week, track my heart rate every day, keeping trends on my scale weight, like all these different things that we're looking at. Right? So when it comes to this conversation, all in all, take some time, ask some questions. If you have specific questions on top of this conversation and you would like to talk about it with me, go ahead, shoot me a DM. Now I do want to be clear, I'm not expert, but at the same time, this has been something that I have actively studied. This is something that I do myself. I've learned from a lot of incredible coaches in the space, some of the top coaches in the space that I have. So if that's something you need a little bit more clarity on, let me know. I've also recorded a podcast on it. I have a little mini course that I'm in the process of building out. Send that over to you as well. Again, I'm here to educate you guys that we don't need poor decisions. We learn from mistakes that I have. That's pretty much all I got for you guys here today. I'll open it up for a little Q&A for those who are here with me live over on TikTok or IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Corey, I remember my mom saying a lot of bodybuilders take steroids because they want to feel the physique they want, but at what cost? And that's really the thing, right? So it's just a subjective question and saying what is the risk reward and what is that worth to you? I can't answer that for you. That's where everybody's different. For me, I expected a little bit more risk because I wanted to power more. I was able to this year compete at a couple shows, actually won my class at the national show, qualified for nationals, and I was able to compete on the national stage in an absolutely incredibly stacked class with 30 guys. We didn't break second class, which was a little disappointing, but it's also not true. Like first season, with the NBC and being enhanced, so like I'm okay with that at the end of the day. And the guys I had to be in the top 10 were absolutely insane as far as their physiques. You could tell that they were more mature physiques that have been using for a while, and that's okay. We knew that, so we take it into consideration right now. We're going to grow a little bit, and we can always revisit that. Corey, I'm not sure if we chatted a little bit more about this, brother, but I'm always curious to chat as well, man. But I do have to prep for my next call, so I